Hello, we are back for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, and a hockey game that I have no idea if it will be any good or not. We'll see. We'll find out one way or another. I really have no idea what to expect out of this game. It could be anything from Vegas dominating to Florida winning 1-0 and anything in between. But as long as it's entertaining, I'll have a good time. So hopefully it's entertaining. That's all I'm going to ask for out of this one. I don't these teams shouldn't play high scoring games, right? Like I know Vegas blew them out in game 2, but fully expectations, I can't imagine that this will be that high scoring of a hockey game, assuming it's competitive. Oh, that's right, Maddie. I forgot. You're on an airplane right now. That's crazy. Boy. Who does Canada want to win? Does Canada want Florida to win? Because they don't want Eichel, the American, to win? Is that what's up? I guess Kachuk's American too, though, right? So nice. Glad you guys are finally getting some rain. Boy. Boy. I just don't know. If it goes like last game, I don't know that Florida will get away with it again. Not that Florida didn't play well in parts of game 4, or game 3 rather. Like they played a good first, but they really didn't play that well through the rest of the game. And then they got away with it, but they gotta have better special teams, whether that's staying out of the box or at least scoring on their power play opportunities, because if they don't do that, it's over. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Ryan, but I just don't know that they can do that. I don't know if they are capable of keeping themselves out of the box. So it might have to be more Bob saving the day. Although, really, like in one way, you look at game 3 and it's like, hey, at 5-on-5, Florida won that game 2-0, right? I don't know that they were fully the better team at 5-on-5, but on the scoreboard they were. Happy for Florida though. They got their Stanley Cup final game win. They have at least one, they can say now. What's up, Avery? How you doing? I mean, they were a fun storyline, but they were clearly the weaker team. I like Even in the earlier series of that run for Florida, they were the weaker team. I have no idea what a run club even is, Avery, but Sunburn sounds like it sucks. I don't know if you have a series yet. Florida's got to win tonight, or this is not really a series still. But we'll see. As always, it's hockey. Anything can happen. I I'm on the CBC broadcast tonight, so hopefully it isn't too far behind. What's up, Blake? I'm doing pretty well. Hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, I mean, like, it does happen. Teams do lose from up 2-0. It just doesn't happen very often. Hey, man, I got to eat dinner here. I'm hungry. You know, I got to eat something. P.S. Marco's Pizza is this? Yeah, their wings, not the best. They're fine. So I have never eaten pho before. I have no idea what it even tastes like. What's up, Ron? How you doing? Me eating can't be that entertaining. I'd much rather watch like the worst hockey game than me eating. But hey, I get to do both. I get to eat and watch hockey, so that's a win for me. I see. I don't like these penalty stats. They're telling me they have 146 minutes of penalties in 3 games, which is true, but like 50 of those penalty minutes, probably more than 50 of those penalty minutes, are like completely irrelevant. They're at the end of games that were over. How many minors have they taken that mattered in this series? It's still way too many, but it's just harder to get a good read. What's up, Anthony? Any roast my roster this year? Yep, we'll do a roast my roster. Probably, and it has to be pretty soon here, I guess. But before free agency, we'll probably do one. I know, I agree, Blake. I Now that we're here, it's like, boy, it's gonna be a long 3 months. I'm good. Hope you're good, Ron. All right. Whose coffee is better, Tim Hortons or Starbucks? I don't care about all the other frills. I just want to know about the coffee. Yeah, I mean, off-season pods are fun in their own way, for sure, but I'd rather be talking about hockey. All right, we have one Starbucks and one Tim's. You guys aren't helping me. Yeah, I'm not a huge coffee fan either. You throw a bunch of creamer and some sugar in it, I'll drink it, but that's what it takes for me to, to drink coffee. All right, let's get this pregame stuff going here. I've never even heard of La Colombe. I probably didn't even say it correctly. So sounds like fancy coffee to me though. Is Brooks Koepka from Florida? I didn't even know that. Nixon's Coffee House. Maybe I'll check it out though. I did not see that, Blake. After the whole Kodak Black incident, I stopped paying attention to the fans at Florida Panther games. Wings are for dinner tonight. I want the Panthers to win tonight too, just because it makes it a series. If Vegas goes up 3-1, it feels kind of inevitable. I know Florida came back on Boston down 3-1, but boy, to do that twice in one run seems unlikely. Flats. Oh, flats for sure are better than drums. There is no doubt in my mind. I haven't dug all the way into all the combine stuff, but yeah, I started looking through it today. Most of that stuff isn't all that interesting to me. I mean, like, do the things like the VO max matter? Sure, but I think that's more of like data that should be confirming what you already know. Yeah, I don't know. Hockey's not like the NFL or some other sports where the top guys just kind of always participate in hockey for the most part, just because that's what you do. I don't really know. It's the hockey thing. Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to see the guy who did like 50 pull-ups and is just in like insane shape, and then the guy who can't even do one. But again, the biggest part of the combine is the interviews, and the public doesn't really get full information on that. That's where the teams will see their rankings change a ton is they interview some of the kids, and if they come away with a bad interpretation, they'll drop them really fast. All right. Another Anthem down. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for the Avs to get another shot at Vegas in the playoffs if things go right, because the Avs shouldn't be a wild card anytime soon. And certainly based on this year, it doesn't look like Vegas is going anywhere. So that would have to be a conference finals matchup. Personally, I'm rooting for Florida. I think a lot of Avs fans are probably rooting for Florida. Um, Vegas is not the most well liked in this fan base for sure. But at the end of the day, I just want good hockey, whether Florida wins or loses. All right. Pregame's done. Wings are done. Let's get some good hockey going here. All right. My game is underway. 1954, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. They're not showing the clock, so that's close to correct. I'm assuming I'm probably behind some of you. Well, okay, Bob makes the first stop. That's cool. I know my streams can be slow sometimes. If I'm ahead of you, you can just pause me and sync it up with the time. If I'm behind you, uh, I get it. Try not to spoil, but I know if you're way ahead, it can be hard sometimes. Yeah, I mean, you get into some of those like extreme numbers, and it's like maybe this guy's playing the wrong sport. Maybe he should go be an Olympian. Vegas coming out firing here. If we're looking beyond just don't take stupid penalties for Florida, the one thing they do have to do better is get out of their own zone. They really, really struggled with controlling the puck on their exits, and it's scary stuff when you play hockey like that. There you go. Kraken on Florida's side. I'm here for it. I mean, the like The penalties were weird because, or were terrible rather, because there were one or two soft calls, I think. But then on top of that, Florida just kept taking terrible penalties, like just boneheaded, dumb stuff. And like, they got away with it in the end, obviously, but it was 2 minutes from costing them the game. Oh God, that was such bad defense. Such a bad read to try and step up and through there. Just gave him a clean breakaway. I just what was Sam Bennett doing there, man? Like completely flat-footed. Yes, it's a bad change too, but Sam Bennett is just floating at the top of his zone, floats up to the blue line. And like I get it, he's a forward, he shouldn't be the last guy back, but he was, and he has to know that. He can't just step up and through and give a guy a clean breakaway. All right. See if Florida can get it back. They have not led for a ton of this series, though I guess they did lead for part of the first in game 3 and game 1. See, I don't like that decision to settle for that Montour shot. At the end of last game, Florida found something and they were able to get to some of the dangerous areas and they got rewarded for it. If they go back to settling for this garbage from the outside, it's going to be tough for them. I agree, Ryan. I think Bennett has been very, very bad this series. Yeah, yeah. Hockey players are not marathon runners; they're sprinters. I think Kachuk is fine, to be honest. I don't think he had any concussion problems. I know the spotters pulled him, but I don't think the issues he was dealing with, if there were any, were concussions. I do wonder a little bit more about Montour though. Like he would clearly hurt his arm at the end of, well, not the end, but in the third period of game 3. And he came back in that game too, but I doubt he's fully healthy. There you go. Decent rebound opportunity. Nowhere to go with it, but still, right idea. I don't think Montour's been terrible. Obviously, you'd like more production out of him for sure. Yeah, Kachuk just couldn't get much on that one. Just kind of rolled up off of his blade. Yeah, I think Eichel's okay. Like, I don't think Eichel would lie about just being winded after the hit, and like he returned too. So And Florida's defense has not been any good. Like, Ekblad has really not been good in this series at all. All right. Vegas looks like they're settling in at least. They took their foot off the gas a little bit here. Is Ekblad overrated? I don't think so. I really like Ekblad. I think he's a really, really good player. The problem is he's just never healthy, right? His on ice ability, I think, is a premier defensive defenseman with the ability to put up 40-ish points a year at his best, which isn't like unbelievable, but that's a top defenseman role. But if he only plays 40 games a year, you can't expect anything out of him, really. I mean, I don't know if Paul Maurice is doing anyone any favors, so Florida might be winning as much as they have in spite of him. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to afford Taves, unfortunately, Anthony, but you never know. Just way too content to settle for that slapper for Montour. There wasn't even a shooting lane there. That's a great keep. No, that didn't come out. Oh, I don't. I'd love to see a replay of that. How do you explain Vegas' comeback after such a bad season last year? Yeah, they had less injuries this year. That's part of it. Part of it is that they had Eichel for the full season. I think he got fully integrated into Vegas' systems, and that helped them a ton. And part of it is, I don't want to call it luck, but they went into this year with gigantic question marks in goal. And when Logan Thompson was healthy, they got good out of him. I don't think that was that surprising, but they got fantastic work out of both Laurent Brossoit and now in these playoffs, Aiden Hill, as not guys that you would expect that out of in their goaltending spot. So, when things fall into place for you like that and you don't get decimated by injury, this is what you can see. Like, everyone knew Vegas was good. They just didn't think they'd have this year because of the goaltending, and then their goaltending showed up for them. Yeah, Cassidy fits Vegas' style very, very well. I mean, Pete DeBoer going from taking a team to a conference final to missing the playoffs is just the Pete DeBoer special, right? It's what he does best. Do I think Arizona will let Schmaltz go for the right price? I think they would. I don't think the Avs have the assets that will get it done, if that's what you're asking. I mean, there's a decent chance you could get Bednar versus DeBoer, as long as he stays in Dallas for a couple more years. I don't hate that play. I know it didn't connect for Florida there, but they tried to get the puck to a dangerous area, and they need to do more of that. They need to make Vegas respect it a little bit. Yeah, I just don't know. I'd have to look through other teams to see if someone has taken the crown of male model from them, but they definitely took a step back in that department for sure. Yeah, I mean, every division had bottom feeders though, right? Like Sharks and Ducks in the Pacific, the Central had Chicago and Arizona. The Eastern Conference, one of them had Columbus, one of them had Philly. You also had Montreal, which was not any good. All right. So the chances are starting to come for Florida. Now the question is, can they finish? Or can they give up a 3-on-2 the other way and lose the game? Oh, good stick. Good stick by Stahl there. Yeah, I would love PLD too, but I think it's a pipe dream for Colorado. I just don't think it's going to happen. Just sucks that Florida got a slow start here. I think after those first 3-4 minutes, Florida's actually played pretty well, but they're in a hole because Vegas bopped them. I mean, you'd never say no to 2 more top 6 forwards, right? You want to make the best roster you possibly can, but they can't really afford to go out and get 2 proper top 6 guys. They should target 2C for sure. That's where they should spend the most amount of money. And then you have to look for like high value guys, right? Where you can get a dude on a cheap contract and he can potentially play a top 6 role for you at least at times. I think that's why AJ and I have a really big interest in Jonathan Drouin this year because he's a guy that could do that you could be able to get for cheap. Now, there's a chance that it doesn't work out and it's a disaster, but sometimes that's the risk you have to take. I mean, I think you try and bring Erod back regardless. Like, if you give Erod $3.5 million, like essentially just Confer's deal that is expiring, just give that to Erod. I think you feel pretty okay with it. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird spot to be in with Erod because he like the decision is completely his. The Avs will offer him what they are willing to offer, and he'll either say yes, he wants to stay, or no, he wants to go because he'll get a bigger offer from somewhere else. I'm confident in that, but it just what does he want to do? I do like Florida's moving with some pace through the neutral zone, and they haven't done a ton of that this series. If they can keep doing that, I'll feel better about things. Yeah, I mean, I think the market for Erod will be interesting, right? Because he did play well in the playoffs. He obviously started the season very well, but he didn't shake the moniker that he already had of struggling in the second half of the regular season. He did that again. So I think teams are very acutely aware of that issue with him. It just depends, though. The market this year is just going to be super weird all the way around, because there are going to be a lot of teams looking to move pieces and trying to sort things out. That I don't envy Chris McFarland's job of having to be on top of the phones and calling on people that are potentially selling. I mean, they should are. I'm sure they are already doing it, right? Like, and you know, at the end of the day, it's a business, right? Any move that the Avs think makes them better, they have to do. Whether that's trading Sam Girard or trading Devon Taves or anyone else. Now, some of those guys are easier to trade than others, but you could see big names get moved. Yeah, I believe Makar is the only one at the awards, and he's definitely not going to win. So, is what it is. But hey, we'll still have Jesse and Megan out there. They can interview Makar. Yeah, Carlson is winning it. There is no doubt in anyone's mind on that one. All right, Florida. You played better, but you got to have something on the scoreboard to show for it. Nice read by Kachuk there to stay in the zone and help his defense. But again, Florida zone exits, they're a problem. Oh, God. What was that? Not pretty, Florida. Not pretty. I have no problem with Makar getting nominated. Certainly his on ice play was completely worthy of nomination. And I understand he missed a good number of games, and that would be the argument you have to make for him to not get nominated. But he's just so good in all situations. He's just so good for Colorado that I think it's justified that he got the nom. Like, of the guys that didn't get in, I don't think I'd have Haskinen as the fourth guy. I'd probably the thing is like the first half of the year, Josh Morrissey absolutely would have been on, but he just tailed off so hard. I don't think Quinn Hughes makes it. You could make a real case for Dougie. That's a guy who scored 22 goals in New Jersey. I think it's hard to make a case for Montour, but maybe you could make a case for him. And then I definitely think you can make a case for Dahlin this year. Dahlin was fantastic in Buffalo. Slavin, really, really good defenseman, but he will never, ever even come close to winning a Norris. The modern NHL defenseman just has so much offensive prowess that Slavin will never, never come close. I don't know. The only thing I've known on my adult life is never expect Buffalo to succeed. So I don't know if they'll end the drought or not. It really shouldn't have been that dangerous of an opportunity. I guess Bob got enough of it, so can't complain. The thing about Slavin is like he wouldn't even be on the top pairing here. In Colorado, it would be Makar and Taves, and even if like you moved out Taves and brought in Slavin, it'd be Makar and Byram. So he wouldn't be on the top pair no matter what. Not that he isn't really good, particularly as a shutdown D, but he just isn't going to get those opportunities. Yeah, I mean, you know, every franchise is a heartbreak franchise until they're not, right? It was St. Louis and Washington up until 2018 and 2019. Yeah, Canada, you got weird commercials. So the thing is, Taves didn't have that bad of a year offensively. Like he had 50 points in 80 games, and I get that's not the astronomical numbers he was putting up in 21-22, but I don't think that's replicable for him. I think 50 points in 80 games is probably a more realistic number. So depends on what you consider a bounce back, because I don't really think he'll have a bounce back year, but I think he'll have another solid production year. Would love to see him score a little bit more effectively. He really should be at least a 10 goal guy, but again, I just personally I would not call that a bounce back year. I would call that a meeting expectations year. Florida really does not change very fast, do they? They kind of float onto the ice a little bit. That was a crazy good tip. I have not seen Across the Spider-Verse. I've been told it's incredibly good, but I have not kept up with superhero movies for like ever. Better part of a decade at this point. Even like when the MCU was popping off, like I never really kept up with it. The last Spider-Man I watched was Tobey Maguire. Unfortunately for Florida, Hill looks on again today, so it's gonna be tough. Yeah, does the Josh Manson contract keep me up at night? No. Um, I I think it was worth taking the risk on, and it's not like in the part of the season early on when Manson was healthy, like you were getting fine play out of him. It's just this injury issue is obviously a problem, and if he's healthy next year and looks okay, then I'm not worried like at all about the contract. But if he's injured again, yeah, it's going to be a problem, but also one that you can't really predict, right? Like injuries happen and you kind of have to live with that. Nice job by Bob. How much is Ryan Graves getting this summer? Too much for the Avs to have any interest, probably. How many points did he actually get this year? Only 26, so he didn't like pop off offensively or anything. Yeah, he's what, 28, 29, 28. Yeah, I someone will probably give him like 4.5, 5, and I will say no, thank you. And like realistically, if you look at that, Ryan Graves, 26 points, 78 games played last year. You're expecting someone. So let's say Ryan Graves gets the Josh Manson contract. Who would you rather have on that contract? Assuming Manson's healthy, Manson or Graves? I'd take Manson. Do I see the Avs looking at college players? How do you mean? Do you mean like in the drafts? Because they already signed a couple of college free agents in the middle of the season. Yeah, Zadorov would be fun to bring back. I don't think it would ever happen, but it'd be fun. Yeah, I agree mostly with that, Avery. Again, they had a really bad start. The first 3-4 minutes was just terrible. I think generally speaking, they've been the better team since then, but they didn't score, and they still have some shakiness with the puck getting out of their own zone. I mean, Minnesota isn't known for making great choices, so they can have fun with that jersey. Thing is, Florida has to get one. Like, it is a lot easier to play against Vegas when you're not behind. When you're behind, it is not fun to play against them. It's a nice little play there. Missed the net by about 3 feet, though. Wow, that was a great stick. I I hate that play when the winger comes down the wall and holds it too long and just takes his own angle away. Just rip the shot from the middle or high in the circle. I think your odds are way better of scoring. Boy, Florida all of a sudden winning a lot of puck battles, but you got 60 seconds basically left in this period. It feels a little too late. And they need to be solid here. You can't, if Florida gives one up in the last minute of this period, that'd be backbreaking. I cannot believe that exit worked, but it did. Lundell's out there trying to make plays, man. I'll give him some credit. He's been quietly very, very good for Florida in this series. All right. This is going to period two. Florida only down one, which doesn't feel good to say in a period where, if they finish, they're probably not down at all. But it's good hockey. All I asked for was a competitive game. We've gotten that so far. I'm going to grab myself a drink, and I will be back in a minute or two. All right, I'm back. Look, you can never go wrong with wings, all right? It's always the answer. Ugh. Yeah, it's tough for Bob there. He gets a lot of that. Probably needed to stop it, but also it's a breakaway because your forwards just abandoned you. I don't know. Hard to blame him too much on it. What do you mean by the Sharon Govich thing? You mean like the Avs going for Sharon Govich? Because Severson was always leaving. There was no way they were ever keeping him. The thing with Sharon Govich is that he's super expendable for New Jersey right now because of the ridiculous core of forwards that they have. Like between you're down the middle, you have Hughes and Hischier, 1 and 2, and because they added Palat, you're now talking about a top 6. You throw Palat in there, Jesper Bratt's going to be in there. They're keeping Bratt, and you're kind of running out of room at a quick pace, especially if they do keep Timo Meyer, which I think they will try to do. I just don't see how Sharon Govich fits. Like they can't give him the opportunity that he's going to want and probably deserves. And like the question is, how much is the team going to be willing to give up for him? And I don't have a good answer for you on that. Like I don't know what his price is realistically going to be, but definitely someone the Avs could probably afford if they wanted. Sims 4. I never really got the Sims games. Like I just they weren't for me because I would just play the Sims game and then I would like have my guy go to work every day and then he would get old and die and lived a super unfulfilled life just like real life. Or you give up the moon and convince New Jersey to let go of Dawson Mercer. Not that they would ever do that, but who boy would that be a steal. I never did Fortnite. Like I not even like I like battle royales. I really like PUBG, but I could never get into the building thing on Fortnite. Like it was too zoomer for me. I'm not I'm not good enough. Vamp like I don't have any of the fancy additions. I just have like the base Sims game. Yeah, I mean the Devils would be morons to give up on Mercer. Sure, but I just don't care enough about The Sims to be willing to sail the seas to get it. I'll just play a game that I like more. We'll see. I don't The one game I was like hyped for this year was Starfield, and now it's unsurprisingly got pushed back, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know when GTA 6 will actually come out. It could be another couple years. Who's winning the fight tonight? And should I bet my mortgage on Nunez? Yeah, I've never got like big into it. I definitely never cared about boxing or any of that stuff at all. UFC I find interesting and fun, but it's never something that I follow that closely. Vice City's the best one. I think it's better than 4 and 5 to be honest, but I never played like the online stuff with 5. All right, so what happens when all these like older super famous actors and actresses die? Will Hollywood have to actually start making new movies? Ooh. All right. These intermissions are too long. We still got like 4 minutes left. Brutal. I can't even speak to movies. Like I barely ever watch movies. I watch series only, and even then I don't watch very many series. Like as I've gotten older, I've just come to the pretty firm idea that trying to pack a story into a 2-hour movie is just you just have to cut out way too much content no matter what. It should just be a mini series or even a multiple season series because you can get into way more of the details and you have way more time to explore and showcase things instead of speed running the story. I have not watched any Beavis and Butthead, but it's my off season. I'm just weaving out and watching a ton of anime, so I'm not very cultured. I did watch The Last of Us. It was good. I never played the games, so I don't have any of those holdups. I see Barkley hasn't flown back to Denver yet. It is weird that there isn't more crossover between NBA and NHL players. Like, I get that their seasons are on at the same time, but you would think these guys all play in the same buildings, basically. So, yeah, the rain has been ridiculous, Blake. I mean, it's out of control. I don't know what to. I don't know how to help you with that one. We put in 2 new trees in our yard, and we're like worried that they're going to get overwatered and die because of the rain, and there's nothing we can do about it. Take it. We know y'all need it up there. Although to be fair, our rainstorms are like full of lightning too. So I don't know if that would be good. That might start more fires. All right, second period is going. 1948, 47, 46, 45, 44. The next like 2 weeks are going to be really slow, and then the week of the draft and free agency is going to be crazy, and then all of July will be painful. Yeah, I don't know who would like line up with the Barkley of the NHL. Like PK maybe would be the closest thing they have. And obviously, like PK's way younger, but because like they tried it with Messier, but he's just an asshole. Wayne has no personality at all, so he's boring. Sure, I mean you're definitely not recreating Barkley specifically, but just like creating a character out of an ex-player. Lundqvist is a little bit too straight laced, I think. Not that I don't like him, but I just don't think he plays a character. And like they tried to do it with Biz, right? They tried to make him into the character on the panel, but everyone just hates Biz, so it didn't work. I actually like Hanson Carter quite a bit. Like, I don't know. On those plays, I watch dudes get it wrong all the time. So I'm sure I get it wrong sometimes. Like, I was on team McCarr shouldn't have been suspended. So it happens. I think Patrick Waugh would be a horrible commentator. I don't think he'd be any good at it at all. All right, Florida. You got to find whatever it was you had at the end of the first there. You were winning so many battles. You're really starting to tilt the ice. It's such a nice defensive play by Forsling there, and then Ekblad just loses a race, and it turns into a good chance for Vegas. They just need more out of him. I don't mind feather ruffling necessarily. Obviously, like there's limits to that, but Wah's problem, if like he was going to be on a national broadcast in the U.S., his accent is too thick, and a lot of people would tune out. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be realistic about American audiences. Yeah, I Forsberg went over after he retired one of the 7 times and like did the front office thing for a Swedish hockey league team, and he hated it and said, "I'm done doing this." Oh, you can't call that, right? Yeah, okay. Oh no, you can't call that. That's a basketball level fucking late call. I don't miss Don Cherry at all. Um, I maybe he was better when he was younger, but I wasn't old enough to experiencing that. I just experienced a senile old xenophobic man when it came to Don Cherry. All right. Optically, I it looked worse than I thought it was, but still, that's a tough look to watch Mark Stahl's stick get slashed out of his hand and then call that. All right, Florida's got to kill it, and then you got to hope Florida's getting one coming back the other way sometime in this game. Whew, that was a little scary, but it exited the zone. Yeah, I mean the lack of consistency in the NHL is so bad. And I get there's some level of human error that you have to put up with there, but it's just not even close. They just call random stuff, it feels like. Yeah, Blake, you're a little bit younger than AJ and I. Doc is great. Don't get me wrong. I loved Doc, but before Doc in the US, it was Gary Thorne, who I will go to my grave thinking was the best announcer ever in existence. But then he went and casted baseball in Baltimore when I grew up, and it was sad for everyone. Wow, that was almost such a pretty play from Vegas. That's interference. They're not going to call it, but I don't know about that, Barkov. That was not a great decision there to send it back up the ice. One more clear, Florida, and you're out of this. Get out. Ah, that's so bad. Good stick, and you're safe. All right. Florida survives the questionable penalty call. Yeah, Clement was great color for Gary. It's so crazy to me that NHL hockey players can go through like multiple pairs of gloves in a single hockey game. Meanwhile, regular people are out there wearing like 10-year-old gloves. I mean, sure, they lost 2 minutes of time to tie it up, but you look at that penalty and you have to think the refs will probably give them one back the other way at some point. So they might end up getting a power play of their own out of the deal. Take it easy, Blake. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, there are plenty of NHL players who like torn up gloves for sure, but there are some that like get new gloves all the time, and it's just wild to me. Hand pass, yeah, yeah. Plenty of time left though. We're not even halfway through this game. Florida's got to make it work though. It's on Florida at this point. kind of been the same story. They bucked the trend at the end of game 3, obviously, but Florida needs their big guns to set up and get it done. Kachuk, Barkov for Hagee. Bennett to a lesser extent, but he's just been so bad. They need more out of him. Dude, I don't understand clubbing. Like, I never thought that was a thing that was enjoyable to do. To go into a place crammed full of people and not be able to hear my own thoughts. Not for me. I'll put it that way. But also, I married my high school sweetheart, so I never had to date anyone as an adult. It was easy. Game is good. It's competitive. I think this second period's been fairly even so far. Florida probably was the better team in the first period, but gave up an early goal, and that's the difference. Like, I totally get going out with friends. That's fun, but take me to a bar that's doing like trivia or a sporting event where you can like hang out and talk and not just like you have to scream at each other from 2 feet away to be able to hear. That's the part that I don't like. Yeah, Florida definitely making their life a lot harder by playing most of this series from behind. No doubt about it. Fair enough. Dancing does make sense that a club would be a really good place to go dancing. I have no argument against that. I would say both MLB umpires and NBA basketball refs are worse than NHL refs. Both like in their ability and in their caring about their jobs. Like if the MLB had any, or rather the MLB Umpire Association had any respect for their jobs, Angel Hernandez would just not have a job, full stop. All right. Florida can't keep doing that. It will burn them eventually. Oh, rough. It's an incredible shot from Stevenson, too. I mean, that thing's an absolute missile that goes barring in. Stone gets it in the zone, and this coverage is just not great. Verhaeghe gets beat back, but the in zone coverage is weird too. Like the forward that needed to stay high cuts down when he has a defenseman to hand that guy off to. The problem with NHL refs is a little bit different, right? I think the NHL has more problems with what they don't call than what they do call. I mean, I don't think Florida would come back if they go down 3-1, but this game isn't over yet either. You still got half this game left. If Florida can get one in this period, it's still a hockey game. Okay. Or Florida could just fall apart here because all of a sudden they can't hold on to the puck. I like how we talk about franchise career highs for an organization that's 6 years old. All right, Florida, you got to let it all hang out now. You got to play full on offense. Are you at all capable, or is this game going to go quietly? Let's see. Who's on the bad end of this matchups in this game right now? How bad is it for Florida's top guys? It's not great. It's not great for Barkov and Reinhart. Doesn't look very good for either of them. I mean, in a game that Florida's really controlled the possession of by Corsi numbers. But that just doesn't matter if they're not generating any goals. The thing about like reffing is there is a significant portion of it where maybe not today, but eventually in our lifetimes, oof, yeah, the puck's just not going for Florida. But in our lifetimes, like computerization and AI will be good enough to call penalties and things like that. Maybe not necessarily perfectly, but consistently. And that's all you really need. If you can get consistent, repeatable calls, then the league will adjust around those calls and will adjust the rules to something that makes sense. So I just that's why I'm all for computer refs and umpires and all those things as fast as possible. Boom. And this game is basically done right there. Florida's defense is just too slow. They don't have a defense that can skate. I mean, that's a like I don't understand what Forsling's doing there. If he just skates hard, he that guy never gets to that puck. It's never even a battle, and instead it ends up in the back of your net because Forsling's floating through and it just isn't very fast. And then a redirected puck, nothing Bob could do there. Yeah, the the carriage is a pumpkin for Florida now. Oh God, it was almost 4-0. All right, what's the betting line on Matt Kachuk getting a game misconduct? I think it's more than taking on water. That thing is sinking at this point, halfway under. Yeah, I mean it basically destroyed them in game one, and then game two got that kind of out of hand regardless. But it made game three way harder than it had to be. Hasn't really mattered in this game, but you know their offense just hasn't generated effectively enough. They have no goals. They haven't generated enough quality opportunities, and they haven't finished well. Posting out. Yeah, I mean Florida's power play sums up their problem in the series, right? They're over on the power play. Their team just cannot generate goals at all. It doesn't matter if they win the possession battle. When they can't score, Yeah, Forsling on the ice for all 3 goals against. I know the first one's a bad change, so it's hard to blame him for that one, but the other 2, not great. Hey, it's easy to score in the regular season, right? Life gets hard in the playoffs. All right. Is there any hope? How does Florida come back into this game? They have to get one in the next 6.5 minutes, and then they need to get a power play early in the third and score on it to make it 3-2. And then a miracle after that somehow. Right now, they can't even possess the puck. Vegas is just doing whatever they want, basically. The power of amazing vibes. Honestly, might as well be amazing vibes. That's what they need, is just everything they can get. Yeah, that's the thing, is like Vegas up 3 or even up 2, they're just not gonna give you any break. Like, you're not getting odd man rushes against this team when you're down. It's too hard. If Florida were to come back from down 3-1 again, though, is this like one of the greatest Stanley Cup runs of all time if they actually did it? You got a 3-on-2 here. This is as good as it's going to get. And you don't even get a shot on net. Rough. I hope the Nuggets close it out in 5. I really hope they do. Denver deserves to see a championship at home. Oh, did that go in? Ooh, Bob was ready for it. It looked spooky. It's actually really good D from Mahura there, but it just doesn't matter, right? Florida can't be playing D right now. They got to be playing O. I mean, I like obviously Vegas should win the series here, like 90% of the time, probably more than 90% of the time from this spot. But the one thing that like could flip it on its head if is if Aiden Hill goes cold. Like if Aiden Hill just loses whatever it is he's had these playoffs, Vegas's whole thing could just completely fall apart. Certainly through the first 5 games, Vegas has been the better team. There is no doubt about that. Is it Luongo? Should we blame Luongo? Is it Luongo's fault? Is he just cursed and never allowed to win? Great guy, Luongo, and obviously like, oh hey, okay. I mean, that's bounce number 1. They need about 3 more of those, and this is a hockey game. I mean, that whole play, the fact that Florida even gets possession is wild, and then it's a double doinker off of defenseman. That is incredible. Okay, you proved there's not a lid on the net. The puck can go in. You get another one in this period, and things get a lot more interesting. I'll put it that way. I mean, that thing is a prayer. If defensemen didn't exist, that thing is going 4 feet wide of the net. Is this icing? Yeah, brutal. Those goals are interesting, right? Because right now Vegas is laughing that off, right? They're like, "Wow, I guess when you're up 3-0, it's a pretty good time for something stupid like that to happen to you." As opposed to the similar style goal that got scored on the Avs that cost them the first goal of game 7, where the Avs were like, "This is some bullshit." It's just the puck movement's a little too slow for Florida. Vegas is getting to everything. That possession was kind of a mess. But Florida putting the forecheck pressure on. They're giving it a go. Long way to go yet, though. They just looked, again, at times in the first period, I thought the Panthers looked really good through the neutral zone, but they just look so unconfident through the neutral zone now. They just not finding anything. And YOLOing stretch passes is not going to get the work done. They're going to have to get the red line and try and dump some pucks in properly at very least. Whoa, did that guy get hit in the head? Yeah, yikes. He's okay, but yikes, yikes. You hate to see that. That's never fun. Yeah, I mean that sucks. You never want to see anyone get hit by a puck to the face or head anywhere. Especially stuff like that, it's just a freak thing, redirect, nothing anyone can do. I mean, we're in the same boat. We were at game 3. They need an extra goal, but once again, nothing from their forwards. It's got to be Kachuk. It's got to be Barkov. It's got to be Verhaeghe. I'm not hopeful, but look, so far, my prediction has played out. I said they got to get one here. They draw a power play early in the third and score on it. We'll see. That would be part 2 of the prediction. But Florida needs to come out and look like a much better team in the third for them to have a chance. So I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I will be back in a minute, chat. All right, I'm back. We can hang out during this sad intermission. I too would like the Panthers to not lose, please, but it's not looking good. But hey, look, if the Panthers losing means that the Miami Heat also lose, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I can live with that. First point. It's Barkov's first point of the series. I mean, that's just not good enough, man. I mean, I'm not saying this will be the case, but Alex Newhook's first 2 years were significantly better offensively than Chandler Stevenson's first 2 years. Just saying. Barkov's been awful in this series. Kachuk had not been good until game 3. Sam Bennett has been horrible the whole series. I mean, like actively detrimental, not just not scoring, but actively hurting Florida. Verhaeghe's been okay. Reinhardt's been very, very quiet, but I don't think he's been terrible. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Newhook just needs a steady role this next season, right? And like, if he finds that role and plays so well, he plays his way out of it. Great, but you got to give him some stability. I mean, it's weird, right, Zach? Because I think Boston was probably a better team than this Florida team. Boston just had a bad week at the wrong time. I think Boston Celtics were probably a better team than the Miami Heat too, and they almost dragged it back, but couldn't quite get it all the way home. Boy, that'd be super fun if Noah Hannafin wanted to come to Colorado. It really doesn't make a ton of sense for Colorado to do, but it would be fun. Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously you don't know you're gonna be that good when you make those moves, right? Like when you get a Chandler Stevenson, they weren't expecting a 65-point guy out of him. They were expecting a 3C, and he's been a 1C for them for good long stretches over the last 2 years. Hannafin wouldn't play on a bottom pair. He'd be in the middle pair here because the only way the Avs would ever go get him is if they moved Gerard or Taves. And even then, they probably still couldn't afford him. So it doesn't matter. I just think it'd be fun because I think he would fit the Avs stylistically very, very well. What would be interesting, and I think it probably won't happen, but like would be a fun storyline that isn't outside the realm of possibility would be seeing Galchenyuk become like a 30-point guy for the Avs on the third line or something. And that could be like some found money for them. And I know everyone will say, "Oh, well, Galchenyuk can't play any defense," but it's like he's specifically been working on improving his defensive game, or that's what he worked on last year for the entire year that he was healthy, basically. So I'm not saying it's going to be great, but if you can just get that to passable, yeah, I mean, just write any name of a player on the Nuggets and throw a fire emoji, and you're correct. You're all over it. I like. There's a genuine argument that Nikola Jokic is a top 5 all-time NBA player. So yep, it's just the Nuggets' time. Really, it is. They've been so good. They finally had a healthy year. Everything just came together for them, and I really hope they get it done on Monday. I think Matthews is gone from Toronto. I think he'll play out the year. I think Toronto will keep him for this year, but I think he's gone. I think he walks at the end of next season. I mean, Philly's gonna Philly. Never sleep on them doing stupid stuff because they're Philly. Would be an interesting guy for Colorado. I I have no idea what the ask would be for Philly, but he definitely could be like if Philly wanted like I probably wouldn't give up a first, but if they wanted like Yeah, the Avs just have no assets, man. It's so hard. Like you'd have to give them the third in 2025 and probably like I don't know. Barons maybe. That'd be tough. It'd be hard to make anything work for the Avs. Maybe you just give them the first. Maybe you just say screw it and say Scott Lawton for a first. Because that's a guy who put up 40 something points last year. He's on a $3 million deal for what, the next 3 years? Yeah, the next 3 years. There could be some really good value there for Colorado. I'm 100% operating under a world where Confer is gone, Avery. So Lawton's problem is like was last year who he really is at age 29. Which it could be. Plenty of guys do like find their game at that age and then like maintain that level for a handful of years. But if you're wrong and that was a one-off year, you're in trouble. Good news is though, like his shooting percentage is well within a reasonable number. It's not like he shot the roof off the building, so those numbers could be sustainable. Let's see. Can pull up some highlights of Scott Lawton on the side here. I mean, he doesn't look slow in a straight line. Doesn't mean he's fast. All right. Third period is go. Let's see if it's pain or a miracle. 19, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40. Good morning from Athens. That is a long way away to be watching from. Yeah, Eichel went to the back room after getting hit by that puck in the head, so I have no idea what the long-term repercussions of that could be, but I'm not surprised that he's not back. The thing about Lawton with Newhook could be good is because like Lawton wears an A in Philadelphia. He's been around the league for a while. He could be one of those guys that kind of like acts as a stabilizing presence as a human being for Newhook. But obviously, actual play style fit, I would have to look more into Lawton to make a decision on. Got to give Vegas a lot of credit for getting in front of pucks. They've done a great job of blocking everything Florida throws at the net from outside. All right. If my prediction radar is accurate, Florida should get a power play in the next like 4 minutes. The thing is, like, you can only, if you're going to play Newhook on the third line, you can only give him so much skill. A 40-point guy like Lawton is about as good as it's going to get, if that's who Lawton really is on a third line. If you want to give him more skill than that, you have to move him up to the second line and just live with whatever happens. Wow, that was actually a super cool zone entry until the guy on the backside wasn't in the zone and ready for that pass across. Oh, it's a nice save by Hill, man. Florida's got to find a way to beat him. And stepping up in the neutral zone and giving up a 3-on-1 is not the way to do that. Cousins needed to be a righty there. Nice keep. Oh, Radko, that was not a good pass. Yeah, Hill had that one all the way. It was never really that scary. An ozone face-off, and you're putting Stahl's line out here, huh? You don't try and sneak the top line out for an extra shift? You're down 2? I don't know about that. Man, that's like a couple times I've seen Forsling just turn around and puck watch and float. Not that like it didn't really affect this play, but that's a really bad habit from a guy who plays some top pairing minutes there. He needs to be skating harder. Vegas ain't trying to do anything fancy, are they? They're just playing for tips. All right, Florida. Good rush. Draw a power play. Score on it, and then I'll start to believe. Oh! All right, they don't even need the power play. And look who it is. It's Barkov. Okay. They made it a hockey game again. But they need at least one more. I mean, technically they need at least two more to win, but you know, they won't lose if they get at least one more. That is a fantastic pass. Great job by Barkov to find the soft spot of the ice too, but that pass is unbelievable. That one, like I get it's a cross crease pass. I get Hill has to come all the way across. I'm not blaming him, but it's just a little leaky. Just a little leaky. Like he got a lot of that and it still got through him. All right. If Florida can get these next two goals, if Florida wins this game, are they the favorites? Because this would be a devastating loss for Vegas. And we're still long way to go there. Florida needs one more goal to even tie it. But hypothetically speaking, oh, that's offside by a mile. You just wonder. It's goals like that that can get in a goalie's head. Things can spiral sometimes. Florida buzzing here. They have to actually do something with it, but they've got some jump in their step all of a sudden. Nice job by Bob. He's going to give them a chance. Yeah, that actually ended up being a really nice shift from Vegas. Florida was jumping. Vegas got it in and kept it in the zone and kind of just killed that shift. I love it though. Florida's forwards getting to those areas now. They're pushing. They're trying to find the space. It's just such better hockey. Dude, Forsling just isn't a good skater, is he, man? Yikes. I haven't seen him now that you mention it, Avery. I don't know if Florida will get a PP. I thought they'd get one early in the period to even them up, but now that's a one-goal game. I don't. It's NHL refs, right? They like to put the whistles away in close games late, especially in the playoffs. Linesman struggling to drop this puck here. Looks like an Av series. Vegas looks a little nervy here. I'm not gonna lie. They look like they're gripping the sticks a little bit. Man, Eichel's back now. Yeah, not surprised by that. Became a 1-goal game, and Vegas said, "We need everybody." All right. Well, they made it entertaining at least. At least we get to have some fun this third period instead of just boring. I mean, I do think you're right though, Avery. I know everyone talked about the protocol stuff with the hit that Kachuk took the other day, but I do think he messed up his shoulder too on that hit. Ooh. Who's the hero? Does it have to be Kachuk again? He seems like the only hero. Yeah, I don't think Kachuk has played much at all in this third period. I know he's on the bench, but let's actually look. Let's look at the TOI chart. Yeah, he's taken 2 shifts so far in the third. One was 18 seconds, and the other one was 28 seconds. He's barely played so far in the third period. And he's sitting down on that end of the bench. Yeah, dude. He's like, he can barely play. Yeah, there's no way you're playing your best player in the playoffs 40 seconds in the third period of a must-win game that you're trailing in. If he's healthy, he'd have like 6 minutes right now. Nice keep. Less nice from Reinhardt there. They got it from Barkov. It's got to be one of the Sams now. If it's not, doesn't look like Kachuk's going to be able to do it. So Reinhardt and Bennett. Yeah, I mean, he's the Panthers. Do they win? I mean, they don't beat Boston without him. They certainly don't sweep Carolina. They might not even beat Carolina without him. Ooh, didn't mind the play. The tip just didn't quite connect. Yeah, you're going to start seeing Vegas do a lot more of that flip out, I think. Oh, they're going to give him that icing. Okay, thank you. I'm surprised more NHL players don't use like oxygen on the bench or something, right? Like you see the NFL use that stuff constantly. It could happen. It could be the depth for Florida. Miracles do happen. But I would not rely on a line like this one to get the job done. Yeah, I mean it's game 4 of the Cup final, third period, 1-goal game. At this point, now down to 10 minutes left. These refs have eaten these whistles at this point. Ooh, good bounce. I'm like 90% sure Barkov would have kicked that in if it went in anyway, so maybe better that it didn't go in. Yeah, I'm curious if Kachuk will try it again once they get like inside 5 minutes, but he obviously basically isn't capable. Up quick here, he could do something. I mean, wasn't a rush, but you'll take an ozone face-off if you're Florida there. Ah, man. Yeah, just couldn't quite get anything on that in the front, could he? It's a tough spot, right? Florida's going to have to earn it, I think. They got all the luck on that first goal in the second period. This one can't be lucky. They got to do it the hard way. All right. You're down a goal in the Cup finals. You can pick any player that's not in the Hall of Fame. Who are you picking? to get you that goal. I think McKinnon would be a top pick for sure. Feels like cheating a little bit, taking a current era prime player for McKinnon, but let's see. Arturi Lehkonen, only if it clinches a series is it Arturi Lehkonen. How would you feel about like Ovi in a spot like that? Because he's like the greatest goal scorer of all time, right? But has never really been known for coming up with that huge goal. Dude, is Forsling the slowest hockey player on planet Earth? I mean, that guy just cannot win a race. Crosby's a great pick for sure. Kane is interesting. I mean, he has some huge goals in his career, obviously. I do find it interesting that no one has even mentioned McDavid. I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about Avs, you could go back to the old OG clutch guy and Chris Drury too, but he was more of a game-winning goal, not like a game-tying goal type guy. Yep. That rush looked a whole lot like an Avalanche rush right there. The defensemen are YOLOing. Yeah, but Sakic's in the Hall of Fame. Lundell isn't a lefty. He had to be on the backhand side there, unfortunately. Claude Lemieux definitely hugely clutch, but he was more clutch over like a full series than like one specific moment. Yeah, it's gonna be a long off season for sure. The Avs have had a while since their last real proper off season. That's 80 feet offsides, man. Phil's interesting, right? Because especially in his prime, he was like a fantastic goal scorer. He just had one of those super deceptive shots. Is that a thing that a lot of people from Portugal settle in Quebec? So statistically, so far in this series, Florida's more likely to score on a penalty kill than a power play. Just throwing it out there. Is it really going to come down to goalie pull time again? How many bullets can Florida dodge? I don't know if it's that many. Yeah. There I told you he'd try it again at 5 minutes. Nailed that one. But yeah, you look at how he's playing, avoiding contact entirely. It's loose. That was your moment, Sam Bennett. That was your moment, and it didn't go in. What's up, Jacob? They need some sustained zone time here, though. They're not getting that very well. Oh, and Radko Gudas just made a terrible mistake. Great save by Bob. Hilariously bad turnover. I mean, it's hard to say Florida deserves to win this game. That's for sure. They really don't. That was a weird choice from Pietrangelo. I think he had a ton of options there, and they didn't even get a shot. I mean, I want Florida to win. I don't know that they deserve to. Radko Gudas misses the check, gives up a breakaway, but slams open the penalty box door. Don't worry. Yeah, no, this third period was super fun. I have no complaints. A little ozone face off to start. Do you just pull him for the face off? That's so dicey, man. I hate this. Like, leave your goalie at the blue line. It does look like it might be shaping up to be 6 games to Vegas, Avery. It really does. But maybe these 2 minutes will change that. It's just so chaotic. Florida's panicking with the puck here a little bit. Step into one. What's the whistle for? I don't understand this whistle at all. Yeah, I don't understand that whistle at all. That's a bullshit whistle. I mean, you could have had a conversation, like, I don't know how that plays out. Maybe the puck goes in when Hill is on the ice, and you have a conversation about whether that's accidental goalie interference, but you never blow the whistle there. That's nonsense. How many miracles you got in the bag, Florida? Ah! These whistles, man. Does ref got the over on faceoffs in this game or what? Nice keep. Ah, not a good shot from Montour there. Oh! Off, yeah. All right. 45 more seconds. I know the neutral zone face off. You kind of have to win. The game might just be over if you lose the face off. But if you win the face off, you have time to set up a proper entry and get one, maybe two really good chances. It's just a tough look. Race to 3 is actually what this whole series has been, really. I mean, the puck's in, but they have no possession here. That's just out quick, right? And that's not icing. So you get one real entry here. It takes a funny bounce, and now you start over. Now you kind of just have to YOLO, right? You're not going to have time to work it around the zone. You just got to get the puck. Oh, did they shoot it straight out? Did they get the pseudo 17-second penalty? Probably matters more that Petrangelo's not on the ice than the actual power play. Oh yeah, clearly straight out. So in a power play situation, 17 seconds is enough time to run a play, to get a setup and get a shot that you want if you win the faceoff. But they have to win the faceoff. If they don't, game's basically over. Okay, they won it. What do you settle for? What shot? Blocked, broken stick though. It's a tough angle, man. It's a hard shot to settle for there. And here we go. Everyone's going to throw punches. See, this is why I don't like having a tradition of throwing shit on the ice, because now you lost and you throw shit at the players, and it's really stupid. Kachuk only has one arm, and he's just like slashing people like crazy. Vegas has like 15 dudes on the ice. Panther fans are throwing shit. This is chaos. There's as many water bottles as rats on the ice. Oh, bad luck, Panther fans. Bad luck. All right, chat. That was a fun one. I'm sad Florida didn't win the game, but it was a fun hockey game. That ending was exciting. I appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. It was fun. Maybe we'll do it again for game 5. Maybe not. I'm not sure what our schedule looks like, but appreciate all y'all. And I'm going to get out of here. Have a great rest of your weekend, y'all.